What if God was never supposed to be a religious institution, but a loving relationship as of one with a parent? Hey guys, it's John sitting here in my studio having a fabulous day, drinking a mug of John's Joe coffee. Thank you very much. This channel has no sponsors, and John's Joe Coffee is part of the way this channel even happens. So if you're interested in coffee or loose leaf teas, John's Joe. This video is part of a new 15 video series called The Simplicity of Jeshua's Teachings. There's going to be 15 videos in this series, and they will have their own playlists. So I will be creating a playlist for as we go called The Simplicity of Jeshua's Teachings. In this video, we're talking about the relationship of God with you, and what Jeshua thought about the relationship with God. Jeshua referred to God as Abba. Now, Abba is an interesting word because it means father. Of course, I don't believe in an external patriarchal male God. I don't believe in that idea. But the word Abba is interesting because Abba does not mean father; it means papa. It means like it's an intimate, personal relationship with a daddy figure. Um, Now, this was extremely radical during his time period, during his life, because the approach to God was like trembling fear of a vengeful God, and like God could speaks through fire and all those sorts of things, and because of that, all these rituals to appease that angry God were created. And Jeshua's like, no, God is my papa. God is my father who I love, and it's using the word Abba. It's a tender, loving, intimate relationship, like a child speaking to a beloved parent. Papa, I love you, Papa. My son, he's 21 years old. He's 6'5". He's got a big burly beard. He calls me Daddy, Daddy, and to me that's beautiful. He's not Dad. It's not yes, Father. It's Daddy. It's something that's kind and loving and caring, and um, I think it's absolutely beautiful because we have that kind of loving relationship. We talk to each other like we are, peers with great love and respect for one another, and that's the concept of Abba. Jeshua used the word Abba to show his love and affection for God. You know, C- could you imagine walking? Imagine walking into a temple back in the day, and Jeshua throws the doors open and yells, "Papa, I'm home!" Right? They would have stoned him. They would have thrown him out on the street and beaten him to death because they were stoning people for lesser deeds than that. Now, saying, "Hey, Papa, I'm home," would literally create a ruckus within the community. People would be like, "I can't believe he said that," because it was disrespectful to their concept of God. But Jeshua's concept of God was God is love. God is this expression of love, and I love love, and I love the expression of love, and I come from love because I come from the oneness of God, and in that oneness of God, it is literally a beautiful relationship with love, which is my Papa, right? This is just a beautiful relationship without fear-based ideas of methods, modalities, techniques, doctrines, dogmas. No fear-based worshiping. Jeshua never built a church. He never wrote a creed, and he never said you needed fear to find God. He taught outside. He taught on hillsides and boats and in homes, wherever people gathered naturally is where he was. Wherever it was very normal for people to be. He came there with the expression of understanding that your connection with Abba is in every moment of every day. It's not a day singled out for prayer and worship. It's every moment of every day is a direct connection with your Abba, with your Father. He never motivated through fear. Everything was about love. Everything was about love your fellow man. Treat neighbor as you would want yourself to be treated. Um, and none of the religious leaders and the political leaders at the time really had a real struggle with him because he bypassed their authority. He literally said, you know, your rules, doctrines, dogmas, and even your laws, talking to Rome, are all based in this ideology that God is something to fear and struggle against. But he quickly said, no, the kingdom of heaven is within you. God is within you. And when you look at things like all those fear-based ideas, he literally, in the book of John, he says, perfect love casts out fear. By the way, book of John, best darn book in the Bible. Thank you very much. And now a quick word from our sponsor. Coffee Time with John. This channel runs off coffee, so get your coffee and tea at johnsjoe.com. Later on, religion institutionalized what was supposed to be free. They took the things that Jeshua was saying about God is within you, love your fellow man, all these things, and they started creating institutions around it, doctrines, dogmas, rules, because it's a structure, it's a framework of control. It's a framework of putting people into a situation where they have to fear God and do all these things. But Jeshua never said those things, never said that you had to have those doctrines, those dogmas. He emphasized relationship over ritual, love over the law. He simplified it. When asked what was the most important things to follow, he said, love God with all your heart and soul and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. He didn't mention rituals, tithing, or mandatory sacraments. It was about living love. That's why my live stream is called the Live Loving live stream. It's about bringing Jeshua's teachings forward in a way that we are present with it, not performing ceremonies, but coming to this moment with an intention of love, an expression of love. One of my favorite stories in the Bible is the Good Samaritan story. Helping without needing religious validation. You just simply help. The Samaritan and the Jew were at odds in the time period, but the Samaritan saw someone struggling and he loved them enough to help. It's a beautiful, beautiful expression. Jeshua never said, love your neighbor as long as you've tithed. He never said, love your neighbor if you've done your sacraments. He never said any of those things. Religion complicates something that's already very simple. You're already connected. You're already connected. You don't have to strive to be connected to God. You don't have to struggle to be connected to God. You don't have to do your doctrines and dogmas to be connected to God. You've always been connected. I mean, every moment of every day, religions insert middlemen, guilt, and endless hoops to jump through. But in reality, Jeshua taught direct, immediate relationship with a father figure, Abba. And it doesn't require permission slips or rituals, just being present and love. Be in the present moment loving. And if you do that, you can create this beautiful outcome of realizing you are not separate from God. You don't need permission to love, to connect, to experience the divine. Your relationship with God is personal. It's beautiful. And it's fully accessible in the right now. So understand, God is like a loving parent. God is Abba. Baba, Papa. But it's a loving parent that's within you. Each one of us has a parent that we carry along with us. Be they good, be they bad. They gave us the expression of life. They gave us the feeling of life that we bring forward into the world. They were a major role in who we became. My father was not a kind man to me. But without my father's way of being in life, I could never have become as independent I am or as stubborn as I am about sticking to my truth. Was it a hard thing to go through with him? Yes. Am I better off for it? Sure. I'm better off because I don't need to be subjugated to a religion, a doctrine, a dogma. I can just simply love and be loving. And it gave me the opportunity to think of God as someone that I can declare things to, and God says, yeah, I'll give it to you. Abba says, yeah, what do you want? I'll give it to you, son. And this idea is open to you because that's what Jeshua said. Love one another. Be in the now. Let's remind the world that love, not religion, is the pathway home. Right here, right now, you have the ability to take this moment and do a loving gesture somewhere. I don't care if it involves me or this video. All I would really love to see is you just choosing to do the loving thing and going and doing the loving thing. If you do that, the world changes. We have the ability to do that when we realize what Abba said, love one another. Because in the regard of Jeshua, that's what he said. But he and the Father were one, as you and the Father are one. So Abba must have said it through him and through you. So say it to someone else. I'm loving you. I'm seeing you. I'm caring for you. I'm helping you. And that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See you. Bye.